Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Emson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here, we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern seeker who wants to align their life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast. Welcome, friends, to episode number 19 of the Own Your Best Life podcast. Have you ever had the feeling as you run around from one to-do to another to-do on your to-do list that you aren't really getting to what's important? And maybe you haven't even asked yourself that question in a while. So you're on autopilot. You're spending time in the same ways you've always spent time. And there's nothing wrong with your routine. I'm not saying something's wrong with your routine. But if you feel like you're in need of a life checkup, here it is. In today's episode, we'll go through the ways we spend our time and how to make time for what's really important in life. So if you've done any kind of time management courses or reading on that subject, you'll often come across frameworks, quadrants, and all sorts of ways to break up our activities so that we spend our time more efficiently. So we schedule, we organize, we group, and we think we're doing an okay job at it. But we know we could do just a bit better. And here's why I know this. So many people come to me with feelings of overwhelm, of not knowing if they're spending time on the right things. And if they're asking that question, as I have in my own life, you know that it means that you don't think you are. They have a feeling something's off. They're not sure what, and more importantly, they're not sure how to get it to where they feel good. And these are the people who are actually working on this too. And if you're listening now to this podcast, it's likely you're one of these people. Many people actually don't ever question how they're really spending their time, and they just attack their life like a giant to-do list instead of wondering why that item is even on their to-do list in the first place, or if there's something that should be on their to-do list that's not. So there are also times in your life, as I know there have been in mine, when you may just not want to get off the hamster wheel. You want to just keep doing the to-do list because it feels easier than figuring out the bigger and harder questions. Haven't you been there before? And maybe you're even there right now. You just feel the sense of, I'm just too tired to even think about how to redo the way I think. I just need a break. And so this is your break right here, right now. We're going to do this today. And the first obstacle most people face is not knowing how to make more time for doing the things they want to do. They say this: I'm so busy, I don't know how I would find the time. I know you're busy. I know this. How often does someone ask you how you're doing, and your answer often includes some statement about how busy you are? I'm so busy. I'm staying busy. We're keeping busy. And I've noticed that I say that too, and it made me wonder, why are we all so busy? Why do we keep talking about being busy? And why do we talk about it so negatively? And why, when we have so much at our disposal in terms of technology, in terms of access or knowledge, do we feel so constrained by our time? And what happens is that in the same way that you love to eat, and you also wish you could eat less, we have two opposing ideas about time that keep us from truly running time on our clock. And so the first idea is that we don't have enough time. Have you ever said that? I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. We want to expand time and we want to make time last longer. And we think of time as this expendable resource. And while we all wake up each morning with the same 24 hours, somehow we feel it's just never enough. And the second idea is this: We don't want too much time on our hands. We like to stay busy. We like filling our time. We get a certain amount of energy from getting all the things done. And if you're living in a world where you don't have enough time and you don't want too much time on your hands, it's no surprise that we feel inconsistent in the way we manage and spend our time. So how do we get more consistent so that time isn't running us and we're running time? This is going to be a little bit different than maybe you've thought about time before, but stay with me here and we'll get there. So we have to decide that we're choosing how we spend our time. This is a micro shift, but one that's really important. We must believe that there is enough time for what matters. And I say this to myself all the time. There's enough time for what matters. There's time enough for what I want to do. It's no longer about too much or too little time on our hands. It's about how we want to spend our time. So time is really a how or a state of mind. You feel rushed because you feel you have too little time. You also feel bored because you feel you have too much time. Which one is really true? If you think about it, a second with the love of your life feels like nothing, whereas a second with your hand on the stove will feel like an eternity. And we decide that time is what we feel about it. We decide what time means to us based on how we feel. And when you start to understand that time is more of a construct of our mind than an absolute, you will feel this quantum shift in your stress and your ability to manage time. So here's what you have to do. Shift your focus. Instead of focusing on time, remember, time is the construct. It is the building materials. It's not what you're building. I want you to focus on what you want to do that's important to you. I want you to focus on the big house and what you're going to do when you're in the house. So if you have 2, 4, 6, 8, or 10 extra hours per week, how would you want to spend your time? Think about this and take the time now to actually write down the answers to that question. Make a list of the 2 to 5 things that are important for you to spend some time or more time doing. Do you want to spend more time with friends, more time with family, more time pursuing a hobby, more time exercising, more time designing your life instead of just making a living? What do you want to spend more time doing? If you have an idea of what you want to spend your time doing, it gives you a reason, a compelling reason to make the time for it. So many of us are going the opposite way. And instead of spending time planning for the important things, we rush around and then spend double or triple the time stressed out doing the important things at the last minute because suddenly they have become urgent. Has that ever happened to you? That relationship that's suddenly heading downhill didn't do that over the course of last night, did it? It was a slow, gradual decline over a period of time, but it may be coming to its head now. And there are so many instances of this in our lives when we don't manage our time with the people around us, whether it's a team you lead, whether it's the people in your family, whether it's your partner, things will come to a head at some point. And in that moment, it will feel both extremely urgent and really important, and you'll feel stressed. So make time now for what's important. And we often hear about making time for what's important in our lives, but we fail to motivate or get ourselves into action and actually do it. And why is that the case? It's because we don't actually believe it will have enough painful consequences or desirable, amazing consequences for it to warrant our attention right now. If you break your leg right now, it hurts a lot, right? That's a painful consequence. And when will you deal with it then? Right now. So we don't spend enough time thinking through what's really important for us to spend our time on right now to even get down the road of understanding the potential consequences of your current actions. You ignoring the thing now has a potential consequence. Whether you realize it or not taking an action is still a decision, and a decision that still has consequences. So we end up firefighting our way through our lives, and this is why you feel stressed or burned out. You can let those urgent and important things happen that we have to have happen, because they will. There's always going to be something urgent and important that comes up that you didn't plan for. Let there be that right amount in your life for those things. Instead, you think about our health, our physical environment, our spirituality, how we raise our kids, are all the kinds of things that are important, but they may not be urgent right now. And the question is this: how do you make time for what's important now so they don't become urgent and important? We don't need it to become urgent. I was just watching with my kids this movie called Up, where this older man whose wife passed away decides to pursue all these dreams that he had and they had together but never got to do in their life. And so we run around thinking this whole time that we need something else. And so we just keep chasing the next thing, and we don't stop and we don't ask what's really important. And of course, at the end, there's this beautiful ending, and he finds out that they have been spending the time on what's important, but he didn't really think about it that way. But there's also a sense of just letting go. Sometimes we like to hold on. We like to hold on to the past. We like to hold on to all our stories. We like to hold on to all our beliefs because they give us a sense of certainty. They give us a sense of certainty that we just don't have time. There's no way we can do it. I've never been able to do it. Why would I bother even trying? Why would I bother even trying? Does that ever come up in your head? Why do something different now? Why make a list about what's important if, who knows? Life is okay and it's pretty good now. And so I don't want you to think that your life has to be terrible in order for you to focus on the things that are important. I just want you to realize that you can have a much higher quality of life when you have bandwidth and space to focus on what truly matters. How would that feel like to have space in your life? And when you make that time now to delegate a task because it's not important for you to do, how do you make time ahead of needing that task done so that you cannot be as stressed with the urgency? This seems so simple, but we often don't do it. We don't often think to ourselves, we must create less urgency in our life by focusing on those important things right now. If you figure out a way to delegate that task and get it handled before it becomes urgent, then the important thing still gets handled and it never bubbles up to the surface as a problem. If you know you need to figure out childcare, how do you make time to talk to your childcare provider or work on your childcare arrangements before they're a source of stress or concern? We often feel stressed or feel concerned because we have this feeling inside of us that realizes that this is important and we're not doing something about it, or we don't have an answer to it, and therefore we feel stressed. But if you have that desire in your heart to figure it out, it means it's important to you. And it's okay to do it before all those other concerns that may be coming from the outside world are placed upon you. And so this is the time to do that. And it's not time that's the issue. It's not time that's the issue. It's really how we spend our time that's the issue here. We often forget that we spend our time in ways that don't serve us, that could be utilized for something more meaningful or important. So if you need 2 hours a week to talk to someone, to build a relationship with someone important in your life, to plan something really big that is going to be happening, ask yourself, what are you spending time on right now that isn't important or isn't urgent for you to do? Think of all the things that you spend time on that's not important and they're not urgent. List them out, literally. I want you to write them down right now. I've done this exercise, and I found that for me, it's things like watching TV, even though I don't watch a ton, or scrolling through social media aimlessly. That happens to me because I actually do work on social media too, right? I post things, and I get caught in that loophole too. And I'm not saying you have to give up all of these things, right? Some of these things you're like, May, I kind of like watching TV. I don't watch too much. But if you spend 6 hours, and I want you to be really honest now, I want you to actually think, how much time over the course of a week am I spending on these things that I just said were not important and not urgent? Or even just not important? What am I spending my time on? How much time is it taking up? Be honest here. And if you're spending, for example, 6 hours doing these things, could you spend maybe 2 or 4 and take the other hours to put towards something on your first list, that original list we talked about, of the things that if you had more time, you would actually say, wow, this is important to me. I'd love to spend more time here. What if you took 2 or 4 hours of this time that you already have? I'm not talking about extra time. I'm talking about time that you already have, but you're just doing something else, not important, not urgent, and you spend it on doing the things that are important to you. So take a look back at that list, that first list. Really imagine how good it would feel to tend to those items. How would it improve the quality of your life if you had a functioning team? If you had a happy family, thriving relationships with your partner, passion, presence, sense of calm, joy, and achievement in something you've always wanted to do? See, it doesn't have to be painful. It could just be something amazing. A feeling like, a nice bath, a relaxing massage, a big walk where you just feel that all is well. There is a way for you to feel more calm in your life. There will always be the stresses, always be those urgent, important things that just come up. You break your leg, someone breaks a leg, your kid needs you. You tend to that. But don't crowd your life with things that aren't important, not really needed for you to be doing or needed in your life for a good or high quality of life. And you know there's something really important there out there, but you're not getting to it. You're not getting to it. So take the first step today. And if you're up for the challenge, can you actually do those 2 things right now? Write out what's important to you, number 1. What is important? What would you want to spend more time on? And then, number 2, what are the non-important activities that you're spending your time on? How much time are you spending on those things? And can you convert that over? So take the first step today towards making time for what's important. You'll be amazed at how this one small shift in focusing on what matters will create a life of so much more fulfillment and space. Do it this week, do it today, and tell me how it goes, because I will tell you that your life will change from this one small micro shift. Thank you so much for listening in today. If you like this topic, if you're feeling a little bit of that overwhelm and you want to get a complimentary 30-minute life design one-on-one coaching session, I'm offering a few spots today. You have to sign up quick because the spots are filling up now. You can experience what 30 minutes will do to transform your life. head to www.mamson.com/contact, fill out the form, and you can schedule some time right there. All right. Have a good one, my friends. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayemson.com. It'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening. It's time to own your best life.